Hi children, how are you? Are you all fine? Yes, I hope you all are fine and well. So let's begin our topic, chapter number 4, the Indus Valley Civilization. So before we start this chapter, we'll see that in our earlier period, I taught you many things about Indus Valley people. That people, you all know that in earlier time, the earliest people were nomads and they settled at one place nearby the river banks and the water bodies. They settled and then they learn how to grow crops, then they learn how to domesticate animals, and they were settled at one place and they left their nomadic life and settled at one place. In our last period, we learned lot many things about these Indus Valley people, their business, agriculture, trade, their agriculture work. We learn about their town plannings, that Sitagal, then we learn about lower house, then their art, culture, and we also learn about their which kind of domestic animals they are keeping, which kind of crops they grow. That many things we learn about that industrial people in our last period. Now here in this period we'll see more about that industrial people that we'll do here. Occupations of the people. That Indus Valley people, they are doing which kind of occupations that we'll talk about. So, the people of Indus Valley, they were connected with many occupations like agriculture, domestication of animal, mining, poultry work, sculpture, art work, knitting work, then some domestic work at home like gathering, hunting, and that work still going on. So the people were connected with many activities of industrial people. Now we'll see first agriculture and domestication. Mostly people of Indus Valley, they are connected with agriculture and domesticated of animal work. So here, mostly the agriculture, people grow wheat, barley, millet, then cotton they grow, and that way crops they grow in their farm. Mostly that all people settle nearby the water sources of Indus River and they grow crops in lot of quantities. Then it gave the birth of barter system, and later on barter system means we exchange one thing instead of another thing. Then later on there was birth of trade and business because the Indus people grow more crops than they need. Then they learn to domesticate animal. They domesticate bullock, buffaloes, goat, sheep, that all animals they domesticate and they use. They use bullock in their farming work. They got milk from the buffaloes. They got wool from the sheep, and many things are there and useful. That's so. Horse was the only animal which was unknown for the people of Indus Valley. They were not familiar about horse, and that hunting and gathering occupation were still going on in that period. So the people were mostly engaged with agriculture and domestication of animals work. Most of the people they are doing agriculture and animal domestication. Next is mining. Most of the people are there that are doing business of mining. They are involved in mining business. They got that copper. Copper was the metal they discovered, and many other that bronze they find out. Then many toys they find made up of that bronze metal. One metal they got from that that bronze, and they got one girl, a dancing image of girl made up of bronze. So we can say that the people were fond of that metals in this period, and people were engaged in mining work also. Then metal casting. Metal casting is a kind of work that people were engaged in some metal casting work. Tools and weapons have been discovered at these sites. Many tools were made up of different metals, and then copper and bronze have been discovered at that time. Then that a girl image of that girl image of a copper that made up of that were discovered. It was a great discovery of that bronze metal used to make that dancing girl image. And in that mining also that many people engaged. They were doing mining work and like collecting of some seals, then some forest products they were collecting, farming products. So that were people engaged in mining also and in metal casting also. Then there was a ornament making. The business of ornament making. The business of now ornament making. There were many ornaments historians got. They have been discovered many ornaments at the sites of Indus Valley sites that made up of that copper, and many ornaments made up of copper, gold, silver, and some clay ornaments they got. So we have conclusion that people were fond of business of ornaments. Mostly they got bracelet, necklace, a ring, that this kind of ornaments they discovered there. Mostly men and women both were using ornaments made up of metals and that clay, and that more men and both women both were using this metal means ornaments. Then we have another thing is there, that pottery making. In different sites of the Indus Valley, they have been discovered many pots, many colorful pots made up of clay, and that red color pots they find with the design of black color inside. That many pots they discovered, many broken pots discovered. Then the historians and conclusion that people were using that potter wheels and they were making pottery. In short, the people were engaged in pottery work. They are making pottery. Many useful that toys got at that site. Then useful that structure of small toys made up of pottery. Some pots got, that useful things we got from this site. Then the geometric designs. We got lot many geometric designs made up of that, made up of stones and clay. We got from these sites. Next is there, that is weaving. Woven work was going on in that period. Many that structures we got made up of that clothes. In short, we can say the people were fond of wearing clothes in that time. They find out how to wear the clothes and they left that their old costumes like made up of leaves of tree and animal skin they left, and they are using weaving woven clothes, and some clothes made up of that costumes like cotton they wear. They were using some clothes to cover their body made up of cottons, and they left. In short, they left their all that clothes. Some embroidery work we got. A stone man statue with beard we got, covered with some embroidery clothes we got. So historians have conclusion that people of Indus Valley were fond of that clothes. So they use clothes of different materials, and and different qualities. In that pottery work, they use mostly red and black color, and in ornaments also they made different qualities. At the other sides, many things we discovered that made up of clay and some statues with the clothes where we got from these sites. Then sculpture making. Then another is there sculpture making. Sculpture made up of copper and bronze were discovered here. Many images we discovered, many statues we got here made up of bronze and silver. There was a vessel of bird shaped, a toy, a bullock toy, a one horn bullock, then some image of that toys, card, that many images of toys have been discovered here at these sites made up of bronze, and that's why we have conclusion that sculpture making work was going on here. The Indus Valley seal. The Indus seals are there. There are large quantities of seals have been discovered at the Indus site. Many seals discovered at the Indus Valley. The seals were made up of stones that they were used thin stones to made up that seal, and there was a image of that tree or animals on that seal, and it was in rectangular or in square shape. Small seals and different size seals we have been discovered at this site. So the seals we discovered at this sites, they may be using for trade purpose, and there was a special image of merchants. It raised the special image of merchant. Then some goods they were packing, and to pack the goods, and there was an image. They set up image of special qualities goods on the wet clay. They use that seal to print the image on wet clay to seal that good. And some seals they got up. They discovered many seals, and some seals discovered they were using for identity of merchants. It was used for trade. Some businessmen were keeping this kind of seals with them. Then they were allowed in the town for business. Seal, in short, seal was the identity of a person or a merchant. Without seal, merchants were not allowed to enter, and they can't do business. So seal was an important structure that many seals discovered at this site. Then Indus script. The Indus script is there. It is also one of the important document. Script means a written document. Have been discovered here. Many script we discovered here in Indus Valley sites. So maybe it is derived from Sumerian literature and most of the Mesopotamian literature. The Mesopotamian used this script. So that way many script we discovered. We have been discovered many script, and there was symbol. Each image and each symbol have sound in that script. That each image and each symbol have sound in that image. So that way many that seals and structures have been discovered at the site. But not much and more information we can collect from these scripts. So many things are there. Then you can see the trade. Many people are there. They are related to different trade. The Indus Valley people they find out trade and business with the other people. We already know that people were growing crops in large quantities. They need to sell these all goods in the market. They were using that seals and doing business with other people in that time. So most of the goods they exported and imported, and there was a business center, trade was there in Harappa, and you know that there was a far away, and they send their goods and they import goods far away, and there was center Harappa was there. So they were doing business like there, and most of the foreign seals like Mesopotamian seals we have been discovered at this site. So we have conclusion that people of Indus Valley were engaged with the business with the Mesopotamian, because the Mesopotamian seals have been discovered here at this site. Then some important that trade was there. Lazis and lapis lazuli and Turkish were there. They import from there. The semi-precious and precious stones, lapis lazuli and Turkish were there. They imported from Persia and Afghanistan. So this was the trade. The trade, most of the trade business they were doing. They imported that some copper from the Rajasthan, present day from Rajasthan, and they imported gold from the Karnataka, and there were many evidence of that business we got. Then religion. Most of the Indus people they were following religion. There was no special image, but they were they were praying for that animals like bullocks image was there, tree image was there on points, that people tree. So students have conclusion that people may have been that in that religious purpose they were using that people tree. Then that one whole rhino means animals trees they were using. So there was no evidence of temple in this civilization. Temple was not there. Most of the people believed in this that natural things. They were praying for natural things only. And there was an image of one like a saint covered that with turban and full costumes. Sometimes sitting on the stool, sometimes sitting on the ground level, and the image is surrounded by animals. So this image they may have been find out of Pasupati, and historians compared this image with Lord Shiva. And there was another image they got out of ladies covered with costumes full, and there was a mother goddess of that. So that called one Devi, a mother goddess. The industrial people were living that free life and there's in a nature, and there was no evidence of temple before here. Most of the people were there. There was a great bath at Mohenjo-daro. It was an example of religious purpose. People were gathering here and they were bathing here, and they were using for religious purpose. Indus Valley people, many graves we find out here. It contains that food items, then many things, then many natural things they kept. Many weapons are there, and many ornaments are there set in with the graves. So students may have conclusion that the Indus Valley people lived life after death. So here that same thing was going on, religious. Then there was a Harappa and that Dholavira, that both sides discovered. Harappa was there that discovered in the Bay of Kambar. It was the main trade centers, and there were two parts. That one part is there that is called that already I told. Second one part is there that Citadel that we know, and second part is there lower house that Citadel upper class people living, and in that lower class people living at lower house. It was an important trade center. It was dockyard have been discovered in Harappa, and from that trade was starting. So it is one of the important sites discovered in there. Then another is that Dholavira. Dholavira site have been discovered at run of Kutch. Here it is divided into three parts. Upper part, then that first part is Citadel, middle part, and then lower part. And here also that dockyard got and people were may have been using this for business purpose because it is near to the Narmada and it is very near that river and the sea bank is there. So people were settled here. So this site have been discovered. Decline of the Indus Valley civilization. Historians have lot of doubt that the civilization, this much great civilization, how declined. The civilization why declined? There was a doubt in the mind of civilization and the mind of historians that why this civilization declined. There were many reasons of decline of this civilization. First of all, that the civilization was there. There was a doubt in historians' mind where natural calamities like drought, flood, death, and this civilization. Second thing is that sometimes the deforestation of trees, they are cutting trees in large quantities because wood is useful to burn bricks and many purpose. A large herd of cattle, sheep, they were grazing on the land. Maybe the land has left its fertileness and they did not have food, so they moved from that place. So it is possibility that the civilization declined. Next thing is that maybe the river Indus changed its way and they did not supply water to the people of that space, of that cities and villages. Then the river may be dried up and the people have to move from that place. So this is the another reason. Last reason is that the historians believe that there were some foreign attacks like that Persian Aryans that came in India and then maybe that there was a war between them. Then we have been discovered some bones and some bodies damaged that skulls we find out and fractured skulls we find out. So there was a possibility of war between these people. So these are the reasons that this empire declined and there are many reasons behind that decline of this that civilizations. So this way the Indus Valley civilization ends and we learn here not many things about civilization. I hope you enjoy this all. Okay. Thank you children. Bye.